In this particular unit, I really try to focus on high-end ambulatory children that can walk on their own. We do a little bit about wheelchair kids, but the high-end ambulatory student that has a disability that could be on anybody's bus. They could be mainstream such that they would be on your buses and you'd have to deal with their behavior. This is not so much getting into the transportation where we have the profoundly handicapped children, which are a whole nother unit, a whole nother business. I'm trying to focus here on the kids who could be mainstreamed on your bus that you may or may not even know are special needs students. And I also throw in here ADD and ADHD, attention deficit disorder and attention hyperactivity attention disorder, because they're probably on everybody's bus, but they're not a disability as defined by the American Disabilities Act. They are a whole nother animal themselves. So they are not a special needs, but their behaviors are so similar and interventions similar for these children that I include that in this unit. So ADD and ADHD. We're going to go through this and we're going to talk about what are their behaviors. And then we're going to talk about what can we do to make these children's ride with you successful. Because that's my whole point in just about anything we're doing is we want this ride to and from school to be successful for you, to be successful for the students on the bus, and to be successful for that student that has discipline issues and or disabilities that we need to work with. It's all about trying to come up with a plan to make them successful. Because, you know, in large part, I do find some people, they say, well, I get this bus load of kids, and I get, 3 bus loads of 50 kids, 150 kids a year, whatever, a semester. And I go through and I just pick out those ones that are a pain in the neck, and I'll just write them up until they get kicked off the bus and I don't have to deal with them anymore. And I have to say that, when I was teaching, and I would get about 150 kids a semester, I didn't look at my list of students that I was going to have for that semester and go through and say, well, I like that one and I don't like that one. I'm just going to write this kid up until I get him out of my class and they send him somebody else to deal with. I figured that whatever 150 kids I got, my job was to teach them as much as I could possibly teach them, as much as they would allow me to teach them in a semester's time. That my job was to try to make all 150 of them successful and learn something about physical education. So I'm hoping that that's the attitude that you take with your children, because we can't have throwaway kids. We have to be working to try to move these kids down that continuum of getting better social skills so that they can be successful adults somewhere down the line. So let's talk about ADHD and ADD and about the behaviors that you might see out of these children.